Okay, hello and welcome to part 7 of Clanfolk, and the Great Colquhoun rises. We've managed to make our way through winter, feeling pretty good about it, although as we've been previously saying, we are running a little bit low on feed for our animals, which is a little bit concerning. Fortunately, we've got our little dog Hunter, who seems to be the best hunter of the whole pack because he's killed another fox. Good going, Hunter. Very good going, very good going. Love to see people getting their work done. And hopefully we can get other people. Now that we've got David, he's going to be able to help us out. He does cost quite a bit, 33 coins per day, but he will be another person that we can use to help out around here. He can make our clothes, he can do a bunch of cleaning for us, hopefully keep the place looking a little bit more spick and span. The main thing that we're going to have to work on is we're going to work on getting our structures built, so we're going to need to get this structure over here built, which we should be able to do. We've still got plenty of straw. We need some more twine for these beds here. I mean, yeah, now that we just need to get that roof done, we could start moving things over, but I do want to get this peat tile bit done first. Maybe what we'll do actually is we'll just demolish these straw beds. It was more there just to make sure that we could get them done. And we'll move one bed over, so I guess we need to make sure that we have another bed just in case for our little kind of dormitory area here. Yeah, like so. And we'll move, say, this bed over there and get that done here. We've got some people coming in. We've got a trader who's waiting for us. Fantastic. They brought a cow with them. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, we don't have any female cows of our own. Otherwise, that bull would be a very tempting option. But what we can do is we can start selling some stuff in order to recoup some of our losses. Now, we do have this hen here. She's getting pretty old. So what I'm thinking is we might actually sell her at 75 coins. I think that's worth it. We'll sell a couple of bricks. We could sell some fertilizer, but we will need that in the spring in order to fertilize our fields. Other than that, we could sell some smoked meat. We have a lot of it. It's worth a little bit. And I mean, we might as well make some money out of it. In fact, we've actually just completely gotten rid of everything the trader has. Let's buy these oath sheafs and the flax sheafs as well. Could get some broad beans, but I think we're okay in terms of food. We still have 7 days available, and we're coming in spring, so we should get some more stuff there. Good stuff, good stuff. Agnes, a single mother, has been cast out by her clan. She needs somewhere safe. Have a baby. She's off to work for free. Okay, well, it's another person we need to worry about in terms of food, but you know what? Yeah. Thank you so much. I will work very hard. So, we've got ourselves another little labourer to work for us. I should hopefully make sure that we get things done much faster. She is pregnant, so that's another baby we're going to have to worry about. But we can potentially let her have this little area over here. And we can even put down this baby basket and get it ready for her. There we go. It's almost like we planned this. We didn't, but it's almost like it. Let's get rid of these sleep zones here. We don't need them for just now that we're getting this sort of dormitory area set up. And we can tell Barbara, yeah, you can just go now. Okay, good. That should hopefully get things done. Agnes, what are you good at? Well, you're good, actually surprisingly good at hunting. You're fairly decent at crafting and cooking. So you know what? Congratulations, you're going to be our new cook for the foreseeable future. And we'll get you to focus on crafting as well, just so we can get whatever we need kind of built. We've got a little bit more meat as well, thanks to that fox that we've managed to kill. And with these sheafs, we should get some more animal feed. That'll hopefully do us for a little bit. Now that we are actually in spring, let's have a little think about our planting. So in terms of our crops, I don't know how much grain that we have. I don't think we have very much. We can see, certainly. Let's see if we can maybe even get some oats planted. We're probably, yeah, we're out of seeds, so we're going to need to get some seeds sooner rather than later. Where is our thresher? Over here, so we can get some flax seeds. We have no hayseed, no flaxseed, no grain either. Not ideal. But we should hopefully be able to get some flax seeds. That'll be good. And we can start working on this larger sort of field that we have set up. We don't even have any hay seed to plant hay, which is a little bit concerning. We could maybe have done with gathering a little bit more of that. But no matter. Things will take a little while to grow, but hopefully we'll get it sooner rather than later. Still got this wildcat den that we could use to try and get another wildcat if we wanted to. Now that I think we've used up all of our jugs, unfortunately, so I'll tell you what, we're actually going to say to everybody, hey, let's stop worrying about creating water jugs. We don't need to do that for the moment. We've got plenty of water. Now that everything has thawed, that means that we can just get stuff from the river again. And we do have to have a little think about how we're going to sort out the pooping situation, because we will need another place to put a wee chamber pot. We could put it over here. We'll make this room rather cramped is the only thing, but I think that's just what we have to do if we want to, just for just now. Unless we wanted to build like another little outhouse area, which we could definitely do. But yeah, let's just make a little peat wall here. We can disassemble this rat trap, put that out over here. Also, it'll be good because it means that this light won't be coming out quite as much. We don't need this peat stove to be lit all the time anymore, because actually, you can see here with that little peat stove, very, very cozy in this room, which is good. Exactly what we want. Get ourselves a little straw curtain there once that is moved. Maybe just bump up the priority of that if we can. And then that'll mean that we're able to build another little sort of chamber pot place for going to the toilet. And everybody should be a little bit happier, because currently they're complaining that we need more bathrooms, and that is true. We could also build another little water dipper as well. I don't think that's a bad idea. Yeah, let's maybe just do that as well. So yeah, we've got another water dipper. We can just put this over here in the corner. Pretty cramped little area, it must be said, but I think overall it'll still be fine. Is this still a little bit too light? I guess it is because it is daylight, so that's why it's too light. So, Agnes just needing a little bit more of a nap there. But that's fine. We can just keep on building. People are getting stuff done. Task list is staying around about the same, but that should hopefully go down, especially once we get most of the hauling done. We're chopping through the peat here, which is good, and getting that stored up over here in the stack, so we can get some more of our dry peat bricks, just so we can keep on keeping on. Definitely looks a lot nicer here with this little wooden door here, rather than the sort of straw ones. We could obviously not use a straw curtain here as well, but I think we might have to. As it comes into evening, we've got a person wanting to stay. I think at the moment we're just going to get you to leave, both of you. Not that the food situation is too bad, but I am still a little bit concerned, just because it's going to be a little bit while before we get any food, and given that we can't actually grow any crops at the moment, that is making me a little bit tetchy, it must be said. But no matter, David is he's doing pretty well. He's actually really quite enjoying sort of staying here. His satisfaction is quite high, although he is a bit grouchy, so hopefully he'll get in a better mood sooner rather than later. And if we can just sort of survive for a little while, we can start to pick some berries when they start becoming a little bit more ripe. That'll be good for us. Got plenty of branches around for all of our various workings here. We finally got our grain pallet there, and that will store our seeds as we'd want. Keep them out of the way of the animals, which I think is the main thing that we want to do. We probably actually want to build another storage as well for gong or fertilizer. The real question is, where do we want to put that? We want to put that somewhere where it's going to be protected from the rain. And out of all these places, potentially even just putting it over here next to... Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to put it. Just need some branches, means that we can store stuff up there. Looks like there's a couple of mice. We did catch one of them, but they're still around our food, which I'm not too happy about. Over here, I think we'll actually let animals in here, although that kind of defeats the purpose. So yeah, we'll just keep that as humans. We'll have to rely on rat catching for that. How are we doing, little puppy? You're doing alright. Once you're grown up and all nice and big, maybe we'll get some more puppies. We'll have to see. That'd be nice. And we're on to day 2. The task lists are still pretty high. We're still having to do a lot of things. Yeah, let's store that from... Oh, we can't put that there anymore because it's now being blocked by that. So yeah, we'll just say, hey, we'll put that in the middle of the room. Good stuff. And then we can build ourselves a little straw curtain here. There we go. Then that will mean that we're able to build another little toilet. It will be a fairly awful room to go to the loo in, but you know, needs kind of must, and we do just need a toilet rather than people blasting them out their pants. If we can help it, of course. Yeah, overall things going pretty well. I do kind of want to work on, once we get this kind of dormitory area finished, we will work on the barn, which I think we'll spend a good amount of time just sort of clearing out this area here. And we can probably use this area to the left to kind of grow hay. We can make kind of like a a little bit for the animals to kind of graze in over there, and they should hopefully be protected, especially if we wall that off from the wolves. That'll hopefully keep them nice and safe. Other than that, people just cooking away, getting stuff done. The amount of food is lower, which isn't ideal, but I mean, we've got our cooked eggs. I think we're doing all right. How's our wee pullet doing? He's doing all right. We should have another rooster soon enough, and that'll get us our next generation of chickens, who hopefully are able to just forage as best they can with the little remaining grass that's growing. In the spring, it'll take a little while for them to grow. You can see here that I've got one bit of hay in some of the grass, which is good. That means at least we'll be getting something from it. We're doing all right for logs. I think we're doing all right for planks as well. That task list slowly but surely coming down as we add in more things. There we go. We can get some wool hanks. We can start making some nice clothes. Let's set that to, we'll set it to 100. We'll just, any kind of wool that we have, we'll just clean that up. We'll make it into the wool hanks, and then we can start to potentially make some nice clothes for people to wear, which would be nice. People will enjoy that, and there we go. We're getting the tiling done. Good stuff, good stuff. And then we should be able to build this other little wall here. So that's peat. We did make the other ones out of logs, and that will annoy me, so we will change that. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that gives us any kind of like environment. No, we could build a wood wall, but that does take planks. That's a little bit more processing. And more importantly, that takes nails. And I'm not really... We do actually have a fair amount of iron ingots, it must be said. So we could make something out of that. Potentially what we want to do is we want to make some iron tools out of them, preferably though. Currently we have... So we've lost our iron peat spades, so we'll make one of each. Could even get another milking bucket should we want to, but I think just making some nice iron tools for us to use rather than the wooden ones, the more primitive tools that we have, will mean that we're able to do a little bit more with that. Now we can break down these bluebells, which I think we will do, just so we can get some additional straw. We managed to stockpile straw pretty effectively over the winter, it must be said, which is very, very nice because it means that we're able to kind of repair these animal beds and such. Okay, perfect, so we've got those hawks. We do need to build a loom though, in order to get that done. Okay. So that is stopped by the rain, converts hank into cloth, and then with the cloth we should be able to make some actual stuff from that. Yeah, this kind of crafting area is getting a little bit busy, but if we can move out that kitchen, it means that we can get another little bit in here for processing all of these various horrible things. But that will rely on us getting the barn done, but we have finished this area over here. We're still waiting for stone. We could potentially build up our quarry, actually. That might be a good thing to do. Yeah, if we build up our stone quarry here, then that means we don't need to worry about mining up for gravel. We could just use that. It will mean that we'll use up our iron pick, so we'll build up another one. That means we can just set people to go grab stone if we're needing stone, if we're needing it for like the stone walls, if we're needing it for more paths, that kind of thing. Speaking of paths, we should definitely path up this area over here. I thought I'd already done that, but obviously not. Yeah, we'll just path that up. The speed that you get from walking on this, the gravel paths, is much better than walking over the kind of rough terrain. So you get a chance to do it. It's quite costly in stone, it's quite costly in time, but it will save you time in the long run, or at least in my estimation it does. Plus it looks a little bit nicer, you know. Have these nice little paths here. Now, when it comes to the barn, how do we want to do this for the barn? I think we'll probably make it out of logs. There's a lot of trees in this area, so we'll be harvesting a lot. So let's make ourselves a pretty nice big barn. Yeah, that's probably a bit too big, but you know what? I like it. We can even put in some supporting columns in the middle. And for the roof, probably just build out a thatch. And hopefully that should be good enough. Indeed it is. So we'll build ourselves a... let's make that a wooden door, actually. We might as well. Make sure it's got a little window in it. It's got a critter door. And in fact, we'll need to make sure that it's a barn door rather than a wooden door. So let's make sure that we actually do it properly. And that will allow our animals to get in here. Now, when it comes to being cold, if we get enough animals in here, they should heat it up by themselves, but we may need to also add in another little stove, maybe even like a peat stove, just to keep it nice and warm in the winter, but that can be worried about in the future. Now, the only thing is that we'll let the critters in here. How are we going to get them over into this kind of area here? Well, I guess we can actually build like a little fence, and then we can sort of say, hey, we'll allow you through for a little bit, and then we'll stop allowing you through. But that's something to worry about in the future. We're going to get this place built up. It's going to take us a little bit of a while. Let's make sure as well that we're saying, hey, just everybody clear out these trees that are around here. That'll help us with the logs that we require for this job. And once again, the task list has gone up as well. But that's 202 for building. There's not much else to do for other things, which is great. One thing I would like to do is, as soon as we can, start to grab some more of this kind of the reeds and such, so we can get some straw. In fact, we can do that already. Fantastic. Get some extra straw from these reeds, and we could even start planting some extra reeds as well. They don't actually require any seeds, so let's do that, so we can make sure that we're going to have plenty of straw for what we need. Now, in terms of our seeds, do we have any available? Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. I guess it's because we don't have anything there. Oh, there's a fire. There's a bit of a lightning storm going on. Fortunately, that's far away from us. Unfortunately, that's a lot of wood that could potentially burn, which I'm not too happy with. I'm more concerned actually about the peat that's being left out. How are we doing over here? Plenty of peat to use. Good, good, good. So we should be able to get our roof done fairly easily. Overall, for the moods, people are okay. It's a little bit dark at the moment, but it's early spring, is to be expected. We could probably actually do with making some more. We've got a flute, so people can play the flute if they want. Maybe I actually say, hey, you know what? Let's make 3 of them just so people can play around with them if they want. We've got our little doll, so at least the kids can play with that. And they can change out their clothes as and when they want to. Now, for the kitchen, is there anywhere we could move this hay trough that would be safe? Because right now, it is not safe. I guess we could move it, like, over here, actually. It's not really in use at the moment, but if we move it over there, then there might be room for the kitchen to sit over here, which would be great. And indeed there is. Cool. So we can move the kitchen over there. And with that, we can then start to work on our loom, which, if I remember, is a very big thing. Okay, we need to move this rat trap again. These rat traps, bane of my existence, but anything to keep the rats off of us. Although they'll mostly be going after our food, so they shouldn't really be coming in here, but it's good to just kind of make sure. And we've got our masonry area down there, so we can get some nice cut stone. Yep, there we go. So we got our loom, so we're going to need some more twine for that. We should hopefully be working out. Ah! Traders, what do you have for us? Berries, interesting. Berries could be very, very useful. Just for increasing our food stocks. We don't really need wood ash, so yeah, we'll just do that. We'd sell some of our wool hanks, but it's a bit wasteful. Does mean that we're using some of that. Let's see here, we got some job seekers as well. I think we're actually quite okay with work right now, just because we have our lovely lady Agnes. She's working away. Poor lady being kicked out of her home. But she's able to do some work for us. We'll actually set this to 100 stones. And say if we have less than 5 rocks, then get ourselves some large rocks. But we're not really using the large rocks for the moment. More just if we need it for, say, making sure that some of the construction areas are okay. Which, given that they're kind of safely away from these kind of walls, we shouldn't really need, although we could potentially actually straw this up, seeing as we have the wall that's there now. I think that's probably a good idea, just to make sure that's safe. Yeah, probably just make sure this entire bit here is of stone. Now that we have the supporting walls there, that's much easier for it to do. That's good. There we go. So now we can make some wool cloth, or we can make tartan cloth. So let's make sure that we have, I don't know, let's say 10 wool cloth, and we'll say 5 tartan cloth. Somebody can get to work on that loom. That'd be great. A bit weird that you don't need dyes. It's just time in order to make the tartan cloth, because usually you'd find berries or something like that to dye your clothes and that. But you know what? You can't really complain. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So now we can make wool clothes. Now, wool is very nice because it is very warm, much warmer than fur stuff. And we can also now start to make plaid, which does improve people's mood, which is fantastic. Even making some decorative tartans if we want to start putting them up around the place. I think what we'll do, given that we are currently making a little bit of wool, is we could make probably couple of plaids. We've got 4 in the moment. We'll make 1 more plaid, just to make sure everybody who's in the clan has one. And other than that, we could probably make some tunics if we get a chance. Alternatively, we do already have fur tunics, but we don't have any cloaks. So let's actually say, hey, let's make 7 cloaks. It's going to be use up all of our wool, but that's why we have the sheep. So it should be fine. Got some dried berries as well. Great. And our toilet's being used, and we're not getting complained at for that anymore. And we should slowly and surely be able to get this kind of area ready to go. Although we do need to till the soil a little bit, so we need to make sure that we're tilling it. So let's just start tilling it up. We can make a nice little growing area over here. Not quite sure what we're going to do with this area, but I think we already said we're maybe going to have a path that leads over to the swampy bit area over here, so make some nice little tilled areas there. And we could even make just like a little kind of odd shaped one that then people can go through here. Yeah, I think I like that. Get a little gravel path coming down. We'll get it moving over there and over there. Good stuff. And we could even actually just gravel path up the rest of this area over here just to make sure that people can walk nice and quick over to the various parts they need to get to. A lot of work that needs done. As you can see, the task list is expanding again rather rapidly, but now that we have more people, it's far easier for us to do it. So that is good for us. And also we're getting through spring, so we're starting to plant all the reeds, which we'll be able to harvest very soon. How are we doing over here? We're just kind of clearing this area out. We haven't actually started building over there, which isn't surprising. They'll probably start building up this area over here instead. They do need the stone for that. They are getting to work, and that's the main thing. We've got Henry, a traveller, over here. Again, as much as I do kind of like the money, I think we'll rely on traders for the moment. We don't need you just now. We're only paying 33 a day for dead, so we'll just make sure we have the money if we need to. Could build some berry bushes, which could be actually a really good idea for making sure that we have, well, for one, we actually have seeds, or unless we've ate them all, which I think we might have done after we've made them all dried berries. That's a bit of a shame, but that's something we can get if we kind of harvest these berries. They can go in spring and summer when they can grow, and we can just use that. This could be a little berry bush patch. They also look quite nice, so people quite enjoy that. Now, when it comes to the masonry, we could always actually put that next to the timbery, which I think we can afford right now. We do need stones. It does need another iron pick, so we will need to make another iron pick because we will use up the one that we have. But that's okay. As far as it goes, this room here, because as the peat stove is far warmer than this one over here. But fortunately, it seems like places are warming up ever so slightly. Ah, and full satisfaction. You know what? We could actually get him to join the family, and he could actually marry Elspeth. Which, given that she is, you know, she's been working quite well, I think we could do that. Or we could actually marry them off, and he and Elspeth would leave. It would mean we'd have less people, but it means that we'd get a little bit of reputation with the McLaren clan. I think for just now, what we'll actually do is we'll get him to join Clan Colquhoun, and he can join in. There we go. They're pretty indifferent towards each other, but you know, we can marry them together, and now he is part of our clan. Congratulations, there we go. So there'll be a wee wedding, everybody will be nice and happy. And overall things are going pretty well. It's spring, nice spring wedding. You know, now that the snows have melted, they spent all winter together. Obviously they like what they see. So a nice little happy day for the clan. Although I'm not sure if anybody gets a mood bonus for that. I don't think they do. I don't think anything like that's really been kind of implemented. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it. Would be quite nice if it's like, oh, you know, you get like a little mood boost now that you're married, but I guess it's more work than anything else. Let's actually break down these beds. We'll do that at a very high priority, and what we'll do is we'll actually say, hey, we'll build another double bed over here. So yeah, let's do that. Build another double sleeping mat over here. Oh no, not a sleeping mat. Beg your pardon. Let's actually get a proper bed, thank you. Make that very high priority. We want to make sure that they have their own little bedroom that they can have as a newly married couple. And now we can make some stone blocks. Fantastic. Make them out of large rocks. So yeah, let's get a good, like say 20 of them. I forget what you need to get for the next idea path. So we'll double check our ideas. just to be able to see. I think it's pretty far down, so yeah, stone blocks, what do we need for these? 40, 10. For the well, we just need the 1. But we can get 40 stone blocks, that'd be pretty good going actually. So let's get to work on that. So yeah, we'll say, hey, you give us, we'll say 50. 50 is a nice round number. Richard, what do you want? Job seeker. We're actually okay for jobs. We've got a new person that's joined us now, so I don't think we need you, so off you trot. We'd get ourselves a little textile shelf here, but this little shack is actually a bit too small for that now that we've kind of added all this in. This seems to be more of sort of a workshop, textile mill kind of area. We could build another little shop, like sort of more of a workshop over here. Put things like our masonry, our timbery, that kind of stuff inside rather than having it left out to the elements. Doesn't matter so much now that things have warmed up quite so much, but something to think of in the future. At least we've got our loom going though. David here doing a cracking job getting everything done. It's good he's such a fast learner, even though he's not part of the clan. He's able to figure out how to make our tartan, so good going to him. And we're starting to build up this little area over here. And there we go, we can now build a well. Fantastic. So yeah, I think we will do that. Maybe build our little well kind of over here. This seems like a sort of like central courtyardy kind of area, so we'll see if we can do that there. It's going to need 20 stone blocks, a bunch of twine, some nails, some planks, but it means that we're able to get water without having to rely on the river. So we no longer have to worry about melting up jugs. We can just store jugs of ice very well sort of in here, and we can store jugs of water in this area over here, which is going to become our little kitchen area once we get the animals moved out. Which looks like it's going to be getting done sooner rather than later. We can probably tile this up as well. So we'll have a nice little kind of kitchen area here, because this is kind of a kitchen area slash animal welfare area. And we can get rid of things like the little critter door and stuff like that, just so the animals stay out of the kitchen. Last thing you want is there'll be pussycat running our paws all over the counters. But no, things have gone pretty well so far in the spring. We have obviously lost quite a few days of food, but that's not surprising given that we've actually expanded the clan quite so much, first with David and then obviously with Agnes. And I'm surprised that we haven't had any more animals that have come around. We do have our little rooster, who has grown up. There he is. What a strapping wee lad he is. He'll be waking us up every morning. I don't think some people I think that aren't familiar with roosters don't actually realise quite how loud they are. I always remember my granny's rooster used to wake me up every time we stayed there, but hey ho, nothing you can do. Also got a nice stone window, which we could use to start replace like our straw windows, because they do give a much better environment boost to everybody who's in there. And once rooms have a nice environment bonus, you know, people actually like being in there. They want to stay in there if they can. As far as decorations go, I thought we had some rushlight areas, or some rushlights that we'd made. But maybe we didn't actually get around to making them. Wouldn't surprise me, that's for sure. I was pretty sure we gave the order to make some, but maybe we didn't actually get around to it. And now we've even got cobblestone floor. So now that we've got these stone blocks, we can actually make a nice cobblestone floor. Now, in terms of their sort of attractiveness, they're not quite as nice as, say, a brick floor or a tile floor, or even like a fancy tile floor, but they do give a really nice speed bonus, which these ones obviously do as well. But they only require the stone blocks rather than the clay, rather than the tile or the bricks. Apologies for that. It seems like a cheeky cat wants to get involved with the recording, so here she is. Apologies, that's picking up on the recording itself, but we'll just see how this goes. Yeah, as I was saying, things are going pretty well for us just now that we've got our little other bedroom here set up. Things should hopefully be looking alright. We're getting our other little farming area set up, although it's going to take a lot of work to get the stone required in order to make this a good place to build, but fortunately now that we have our little stone quarry, things will work quite nice and quite quickly, so we can get our stone that we need in order to build these little fences, and we can till up the soil and get it done faster than we otherwise would do. Unfortunately, we still don't have any seeds. Nothing's really grown yet. It's only day 4 of spring. It will take a while for things to grow properly, but hopefully we can get that done. Also doing some work here, just clearing out this kind of area here, just to make sure that we're getting rid of all the sort of tree stumps, getting the walls built up. going to take a lot of logs to build a barn of that size. Bernard, I'm very sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, unfortunately, but we can maybe think about letting other people in. Currently, our bed situation is okay now that we've got this double bed for Elspeth and David. They can rest in there. And there we go. They should be quite happy. Should get a nice little mood boost as well. They've got a private room, which is very nice for them. So they're going to have a much better mood, which will make them work faster as well. The other children, maybe not quite as happy. And then obviously Agnes won't be as happy either. But hey-ho, that's just the way that it goes, I'm afraid. As far as the animal situation goes, we haven't had any other run-ins with the wolves that we had during winter. Hopefully they won't show back up. That would be not great if they start taking out some of our flock. But overall the animals still seem to be safe, and Hunter should hopefully keep them nice and safe as well. One thing we could do is we could always move this the dog's bed over into Elspeth's room, but something to think about in the future. Main thing is that we're doing all right in terms of our storage. We've still got plenty of meats. We only got 4 days of food, so food is going down. Now, I do wonder if that's because we're not really cooking up the eels that we are currently trapping. But maybe we are. We'll just have to see about that. I was very certain that we were using rushlight kits, but you know what? We'll set it so that we have 2, maybe 3. We can even put a little table in here, potentially, although that will light up the space next to the bed, so that might not be the best thing in the world either. I'm just going to have to see how that goes. There's a very cheeky pussycat who's currently sniffing my face and is going to stand in front of the screen, so no you don't. There we go. Just stay close down. You could also make a neat lantern kit for Samhain, but it's not currently awesome, so I don't think we need to worry about that for just now. Ah, look at that. Perfect. Everything working out quite well. We're getting these paths done in. We'll need to connect this up to the sort of main path as well, but we can worry about that later on. The main thing is that we're tilling the soil. Okay, and then just as we're talking there, the dog decides she also wants to get involved, so apparently this is just the animal collaboration episode. But I guess given the size of our herd, that is what's going to happen. Now, when it comes for just now, we do have a bunch of traders, which is interesting. We don't need any more dogs. We definitely don't need any more chickens, at least female chickens. We're absolutely fine for that. We could buy some more eggs. They're pretty cheap. We could cook up some meals with that. I think, yeah, just given that they only cost 6, we will. We will sell off a couple of our dry peat bricks. That sounds good to me. Could even sell off a bunch of stone blocks. It does take a little while to make them, but they are worth quite a lot. Additionally, we could also sell off our bark should we wish to. I think we'll keep the hides for now, just so we can. We could also sell our tomcat, but I like our little tomcat. Very cheeky cat, but still pretty good. Now, from here, we could buy some stones. We're actually okay for stones. We could buy some onions, though, so we will buy those onions. Still doing alright for coin. Is there anything we could sell that kind of makes sense? We could sell a whole bunch of branches, so we will. We have lots of branches just from cutting down all these trees, so we'll sell a bunch of these branches, and there we go. That should make the trader a little bit more happy. And the collaboration with the pussycat is done. So off she goes. And just like the trader, we'll get her to leave. Perfect. We'll get some berries. Now with these berries, we can actually plant these bushes over here, which is great. Don't need to buy any dry peat bricks, and we're okay for our moolah. How are these little piglets doing? They're doing pretty well. We can probably actually think about maybe selling or slaughtering one of them. We can get a lot of meat for that. Could sell some wool cloth for a bunch of money, but again, I think we're okay. A little bit disappointing in terms of the traders. What we will do is we will say, hey, these berry bushes will take priority. Please go and plant them. We'll use a bunch of berries for each one, but that does mean that we'll have plenty of berries or to keep going. You know what? Let's actually say everything in here is going to be a little berry bush. Yep, we'll make sure all of them are pretty high priority. We'll not have enough berries to plant them all, but that will at least mean that we are going to have some berries that we can gather to dry on out. And that should also boost our reputation with the clans, which is fantastic. And we should have our little place here with our chamber pots and our full chamber pots. We might actually need to make another little place around about the toilets, maybe even kind of in this area here, just to store the empty chamber pots, not the full ones. I think that'd be a little bit unhygienic. But yes, no, so now we've managed to get at least one wool cloak. It's going to take us a little while to get the wool up together, but fingers crossed we can do it sooner rather than later. And we're also getting our stone wall kind of set up here. Now when it comes to this bit over here, I think we will actually just get a little gate that we can put over here, and then that can be our little entrance over towards the peat area where we're collecting all this bog peat and all drying out our peat as well, and that'll keep everybody nice and cool. This room in here, I'm a little bit annoyed that we've lost all of our jugs of ice, but hey ho, could be worse, could be worse. The main thing is that we have a nice storage place for all of our food, various food stocks that we can have. Even if it isn't refrigerated, you know, at least we have it to be stored. Our animals as well, in terms of their well-being, they seem to be doing a lot better now. They are actually getting fed, which is good. They're probably coming out here and just eating the hay that's kind of around this area here, which is nice. Kind of what we want them to do. The most annoying thing is that, okay, this hay over here is done. Perfect. So let's start thinking about harvesting up some of these bits over here. We've also got some ferns that we can gather. This bit over here is a little bit slower growing. This hay over here is done. We can get this hay harvested up. Then that means that we can then start replanting it over in our next area where we're going to have kind of like our wild grass area, which is good. Got some more hay over here that's also finished up. We've got a lot of reeds that we could potentially harvest as well if we need the extra straw. Currently, I mean, we're sitting at 800. It's not bad, but we could definitely do with some more. But yeah, let's make sure we're harvesting up all these nice plants. Get the hay as best we can, get some extra straw. We can use it to build up some more animal beds. And get everybody set over to the barn. Task list, as always, has expanded rather than shrunk, but it's all for a good cause. And it shouldn't take too long for people to get jobs done either. We have another little visitor. We could actually invite them in, although I'm a little bit concerned about food, because food is dwindling. We do have ways around that, and that mostly just involves killing off animals, which is always an option that we have as well. If we ever get to the point where we are actually running out of food, we will just slaughter some of the animals, and we'll be able to use them to keep us going. Alternatively, we could hunt. There are obviously those beavers over there, but they're currently in the water. There's a stag over here, so we could actually think about killing that. That might be a good shout. We'll actually tell someone to go out and hunt when they get a second, and that'll be good. Samuel, you know what? Actually, we will allow you to come in. We do have a spare bed. Hopefully you can get some satisfaction. That would be good. We have our flax dressing area as well that we need to build, which we could build another little place over here to house our workbench and such, but maybe even our thresher. It might be an idea to kind of build those kind of over here in another area here, kind of next to the rabbit hutch. We can build another little workshop-y kind of area and keep the thresher outside of the cold, which will be far more useful in wintertime. But yeah, overall, I think a pretty successful start to the season. Maybe not so much the recording. I do apologize. It does seem to be a bit more cuts than I usually like in these episodes, but various things keep on happening in the real life. So, yes, that's just something you gotta get used to. It's one of the things, the strokes you gotta do. Now, we could start building up stone block walls. They do need a little bit of clay, but I mean, only one stone block. How many do we make per? It's only 2 for every large rock, but we do make some extra stones as well, which is nice. I do like that. How are we doing for large rocks? We're certainly getting through the amount that we had. We did obviously build this kind of like rocky roof that's going to be in between the two structures, but that's alright by us. And with that, that's us on day 6 of spring, so I think we'll stop the recording here. So just want to say thank you very much for everybody watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying this. The name of the Tomcat is still up for anybody who wants to come in, so leave a comment in the comments of the videos if you'd like to be named as a Tomcat and get that renamed to yourself. Otherwise, just want to say thank you very much for everybody who watches. Also want to say thank you very much for our members of the Burger Band who help support the channel and what we do. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, you can do that on YouTube, you can do it on Patreon, and you get early access to videos as soon as they're uploaded rather than when they're scheduled to come out. But more importantly, just want to say again, thank you to everybody who's been watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. And until next time, take care.